Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the It Girl Mindset. I'm so excited to get into today's topic. It's one of my favorite things in the world to talk about, honestly, and I know I say that about a lot of different topics, but this is like one of my top favorite topics to talk about. And we're going into how to rebrand your life and plan your 2026 next level identity. I have rebranded my life so many times, sometimes intentionally and sometimes unintentionally. Before we get into the 8-step process, I wanted to just touch on a couple of my identity shifts. If you're new here, you probably haven't heard the story, but if you're an OG, you probably know a decent amount of this story, but I think it's really interesting to go back. It's just a good reflective journey to kind of look at the different shifts and changes that you've made in your life. It honestly is really healing because you can see how much growth that you've actually had. Also, I just want to say I'm a bit low energy today. I'm in the thick of my luteal phase. Honestly, just as a little PS before we get into it, coming back from the retreat, I feel like I've kind of been just adjusting, for lack of a better word. I don't know. I feel like I was on such a high when I came back from the trip, and now I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like back in my normal routines and everything like that. And I actually was just talking to my coach about this, where she recommended that I find things from the trip, like what did I love so much about the trip and how can I bring that into my day-to-day life, like exploring, like girly chats, like what about the trip really just made it so amazing. And so that's what I'm really going to be working on, because even I have a vlog coming out, but I ended up going to a coffee shop and just worked there, and it was such a vibe, honestly, like going out into the world. And even though it's my own town that I've lived in forever, like literally my whole life, it was still good to just go out into the world and like get a cute little coffee. I was able to get so much done, and I was just like enjoying my life that day. Like I went to the pole studio after and just danced and like made up a dance. So this is just your reminder. If you go on a trip and you come home and you're like, why am I home? Like this sucks. Just ask yourself, what can you bring from that trip into your day-to-day life? Anyways, that was a very huge side tangent, but I just wanted you guys to know, like, I don't feel amazing every single day, even though, it's so easy to be like, oh, I've got my shit together. Every single day I'm productive and working hard and doing all the things. And like today is just not that day. I've honestly been struggling so much with even routine and like even getting out of the house. I didn't even want to go on a walk, but I did it for my dog mainly. It took me so long to get into work today. And again, I'm just sharing all this because I'm not perfect. I don't show up every single day disciplined, routine oriented, okay? It's okay to have an off day, and we don't need to make it mean something about ourselves, and it's really important in those days. I'm talking to myself here to just give yourself so much grace and love and compassion. And I know those words can sound cheesy, but when you really start to shift your energy and your mindset and your inner voice to have compassion for whatever you're feeling that day, the easier it will be to move through it. And I'm just going to be honest, my task for the day is podcasting. And then I'm probably going to edit on the couch and watch Tell Me Lies. You guys, are you watching that? Because it is so bad in a like manipulative storyline way, but it is so good, especially just being so into mindset work, like just seeing the manipulation and the lies and how people project onto each other. And I don't know, it's really interesting to look through that lens after doing so much personal development and therapy and mindset work. I'm like, all of you guys, girls and guys, need to go to therapy. It's just so funny. Okay. Now, anyways, back to what we're getting into. I knew this was going to make me feel better also too. As soon as I started, like I've kind of been blah all day. And then as soon as I hit record, like I just feel like I'm so in my element, and I just love being on your screen or in your ear. Truly, it's already just lit me up and I already feel so much better. Also, I was even not gonna do video. I was like, maybe I'll just do audio today. And I was like, you know what? No, I owe it to my girlies. We're gonna do the whole shebang. Now we're actually getting into the rest of the episode. Okay. I really wanted to again, touch on the different pieces of my identity that I've kind of shifted into. I started off as a mute, shy girl. Like I literally did not talk. I was so quiet, afraid of the world. And then I kind of shifted one day. I remember this so specifically. It was an inner battle of saying hi to this girl that was 2 years older than me, or maybe 3. And I was like going back in my head and I forced myself. I said hi. And that was kind of like my first step into being a more confident version of myself. So then I ended up switching schools and really had to put myself out of my comfort zone. And I really changed my personality. I started talking. I started hanging out with some older people. I started, drinking at that time, which then kind of led me down this other journey of being really in my party girl era. It happened a little bit in high school, but definitely college. I went to Chico. It was such a big party school. So then after the party girl version of me, I really went straight into wanting to become a professional dancer. So I went vegan, went hard, but each of these identity shifts have really been very instant for me. I'm one of those people, when I want to make a drastic change, I don't know, something just switches in my brain. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. Which is why I feel like I'm kind of an expert at switching identities. I will say too, I really take my pain and turn it into my power. Even, for example, when I went from, mute to starting to have a personality, like it was so painful for me that I felt like I didn't have another way. And I just like, bam, kind of switched in. I was like, I'm switching schools. I'm changing my personality. I'm not doing this quiet, afraid of everything energy anymore. Same with like when I lost 30 pounds and started auditioning for pro dance teams. I remember this one moment where I looked in the mirror on my way back from studying abroad, and it was like an airplane bathroom. Those mirrors are not great anyways, but I looked in the mirror and said to myself, like, we are doing things different this time. We're changing. I don't care what it takes. Like, we are changing our body. And again, it was because I was in such a painful place that I needed to switch identities, okay? You don't have to be in that painful of a place to switch identities. I'm just saying, I think a lot of mine have stemmed from that. And then it's honestly gotten easier over time and not as painful or dark, honestly. Because then I went from the pro dance girl to becoming a health coach. So I really switched to be like health and fitness girly, posting workouts online, posting recipes online, and then kind of went into the mindset, entrepreneurial stuff like that. I am just sharing this with you because I've changed my identity a million times and I'm probably going to change it a million more, honestly. That's the point, is we're meant to grow and evolve. And I know sometimes we can be so stuck feeling like, oh, well, people expect me to be this way. I can't do this because X, Y, Z. But what if you just let that all go and just decided who you wanted to be? You just decided, I'm just going to fuck around and find out who I can be and what I can accomplish in this world. Right? Like, what if you actually just let go of other people's opinions of you and let go of what you think other people think of you? What if you just said, okay, fine. I don't care what these people think. I'm going to do what I want. What do you think your life could look like? Okay? That's the energy I want you to take into 2026 in this rebrand, okay? And that actually takes me into step number 1, which is allow yourself to change and decide that you're going to. Okay, I think so many people think that change is scary and hard, and well, yes, it can be scary and hard, but only if you make it that way. I genuinely think change is fun. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little too addicted to change sometimes, where it's like, sometimes it's hard for me to be grateful for how much I've already changed. So again, change can be hard and scary if you make it that way, or you can make it be easy. But step 1 is just allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to actually change. Okay, because if we're in this like, I want to, but this person thinks this, or I want to, but like, what is my spouse going to think? Or I want to, but XYZ, all the excuses that we give ourselves, okay? That's your brain trying to keep you safe. That's your brain trying to say, hey, guess what? Change is unknown. I don't want anything to do with the unknown because that feels scary. And scary means we can't be safe. In your nervous system, your brain, it just wants to keep you safe. The unknown and change is scary, which is why your brain will give you 1,000,001 reasons for you to convince yourself that it's easier, better to just stay exactly as who you are right now. Step number 2 is to start dreaming. It's so easy to go on social media and be like, oh, this person has this, so I want that. Or this person is a podcaster, so I want that. Or this person is a health and fitness coach, so I want that. I want to be this because I see her doing this. While yes, it's really great to pull inspiration from other people and places and, you know, people that you see online, whatever it may be, but it's very, very important for you to just take the time to actually figure out what you want. Because if you go, I'm literally speaking to myself here, because this was me for years where I was like, I thought I wanted to do something and then I would go 120%. I'd get 90% of the way there and then I'd be like, wait, do I really want this? And then I'd scratch it. And I'm never going to say I wasted time, but I will say I did make it a bit challenging on myself because I would, again, be like, I want to do this. I'm going all in, bam, 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 doing all the things, taking the action, and then I'm 90% there. And then I'm like, wait, is this actually what I want? But I really just want you to start going on Pinterest, you know, start journaling, start meditating, spend time alone. Like, figure out the things that actually light you up, okay? The things that actually make you, you. Again, I know you're probably like, I just want to rebrand right now. And I want you to listen to those intuitive pings. If there's something that's in your head over and over again, not with this urgency, I have to change right now, because that's probably your ego. But if you hear something over and over again, a constant just calm, it could be a voice, it could be a visual, it could be auditory, it could be hearing, or it could just be like this inner knowing. Those are the different types of intuition. It's not going to be the thing that's like, oh my God, you have to do this right now. You're never going to get it and you're never going to be enough and blah, blah, blah. That like really intense urgency-based language. Your intuition is the calm, grounding, knowing. Okay, it's never going to convince you that you need to do it right now or you're going to lose it forever. That's not how your intuition works. After you've spent that time and really just been like, what do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? After that, then step number 3 is to actually define this new identity. Who is this version of you, right? What does she do on a day-to-day basis? What's her job? Also, this is the other thing too. I don't want you to think about what's realistic for you with where you are right now. Okay, because even I've talked to women and past clients that I've said, you do realize that you can have anything that you want, right? It doesn't just have to be what's realistic for you now. Let's just say you're in the corporate world working in HR. Hi, that was me. I don't want you to be like, okay, so realistically, if I work my way up, then X, Y, Z, when like you really have this creative side where you're like, actually, I want to start a podcast. Okay, I don't want you to think realistically about like with your current circumstances, what could you accomplish? I want you to think about like, what do you actually want? Like maybe you're in the corporate world, but you really want to become a Pilates instructor, or maybe you are a teacher and you actually really want to start a podcast, okay? I don't want you to think realistic with your circumstances right now. I want you to dream really, really big and just really think about who that version of you is that has the thing that you actually want, not what you think is realistic based on your circumstances right now. This is very, very important. Okay, so with step number 3, after you've defined your new identity, okay, you're writing down, what does she wear? Does she get her nails done? How does she make other people feel? What's her personality? What does her day-to-day look like? How does she work out? How does she eat? Where does she live? What's her career? Okay, go in as much depth as you possibly can. And again, the reason step number 2 is to really start dreaming, spend time alone and journal, is because you don't want to create an identity that you think you should be based on other things, kind of like we talked about at the beginning. And that brings me to step number 4, which is, what's up, you guys? We're taking a quick little break here because I want to tell you about something that I made for you completely free. Since you know I'm in my soft girl discipline era, I actually put together a 6-week soft girl discipline reset. It's a Notion dashboard designed to help you get back on track without the pressure. Inside, you will find 15 full workouts that combine strength and Pilates so you can feel strong, toned, and confident in just 6 weeks. Inside the dashboard, you'll find a habit tracker, daily nutrition goals, schedule, and even a weekly check-in system. You can completely customize your own habits so they actually fit your lifestyle too. And if you love structure as much as I do, you can even sync it directly to a calendar so your reset flows seamlessly with your day. Imagine how you'll feel 6 weeks from now, lighter, more energized, clear-headed, and proud of the discipline you've built in a way that feels soft, feminine, and sustainable. Honestly, can't believe I'm giving this away for free, but if you are ready for that fresh start, grab the 6-week reset through the link down in the show notes today. Okay, back to the episode. And that brings me to step number 4, which is authentic clarity check. Okay, is this truly what you want? Is this truly who you want to be? Do you want the lifestyle of maybe the career that you want, or the body that you want, or the house that you want? Do you like the actual lifestyle of the thing that you want, or are you just thinking of the thing that you want because you think it's gonna make you feel some type of way? And this is so important. And a way that you can check in to really feel if this is authentically what you want and who you want to work towards, there's something called the sway test, and then there's, I don't know if it's called a body test or just a yes/no test. So our bodies are so intelligent, and our body knows before our mind. So if you have a question, you can say a statement if we want to do the yes/no test or the sway test, and you can test out what's a yes for you and what's a no for you. So if you want to say like, my name's Ashley, whether your body sways forward, back, side to side, whatever it is, that way you can see what's an actual yes. And then you would say something like, my name's Bob. Obviously not my name. So then see how your body moves in that way. So the sway test is essentially you stand up straight and you repeat those sayings to yourself, like, my name's Ashley, my name's Ashley, my name's Ashley. And then you'll see, am I swaying forward and back? Am I swaying side to side? For me, everybody's body is different. You could literally sway in a circle to the right one way and then a circle to the left as a no. Like, it really is whatever your body is communicating to you. Okay, so the sway test is one of them. Shout out to Caroline, she taught me this. And then number 2 is the just feeling in your body in a yes, no. So you can kind of like ground yourself in the moment and just kind of take some deep breaths, whatever it may be. And then you can say, again, do the same thing where it's like, my name's Ashley, my name's Ashley, my name's Ashley. You'll feel feelings in your body somewhere. So for me, a yes is like a sparkly, tingly sensation in my chest. And then a no is usually like a gut feeling. But again, you can use those tester sentences to say, my name is, insert your name, say it a couple times over and over again and see what your body tells you. And then say something that's a lie, like, my name's Bob, my name's Bob, my name's Bob, and then see how that feels in your body. Okay, so that's a really great way to check, is this aligned with my highest self, my most authentic self? And you can even frame the question that way, like, is me becoming a Pilates instructor aligned with my highest self? Test it with your body and just see what comes up. I'll even use a very silly example of something. I've been trying to find a new pair of walking shoes, okay? I've been trying so hard, and for some reason I can't find any that I love. I've bought multiple pairs and returned them, but there's this one pair that I tried on. I thought I really liked them. I was like looking at them, but it wasn't like an, oh my God, I need to have these. These are the cutest things I've ever seen. The guy there was like, oh, you want to make sure they're like comfy overall. And so even if they're not like the best looking, like, you just want them to be comfy. And I was like, you're right. Like, maybe I don't love these 100%, but they're comfy. So I ended up buying them, and then I brought them home and I tried them on. I was going to wear them on a walk. And then I just looked at them and I was like, do I even like these? Like, I don't know. Why am I not obsessed with them? Right? And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do a sway test. And immediately my body was like, no, we do not like these shoes. So I still need to return them because this literally happened in the last week. But it's such a good way to like practice trusting yourself and what you truly want. It's been so helpful for me. So huge tip if you want to check in with yourself and be like, is this actually aligned with my most authentic and highest self? And use either the sway or just the body test. Okay, number 5, what habits and skills do you need to become this next level self and this new identity? If you wanted to become a health and fitness coach, quit your job, start posting online, what skills do you need? Okay, do you need to get some sort of health coaching certificate? Do you need to start posting online? Do you need to practice talking to the camera, right? What skills and habits do you need? If it's more of maybe a dream body that you're working towards, okay, what habits and skills do you need to start doing? Do you need to wake up earlier? Do you need to maybe research a workout program that you want to start doing? Do you need to figure out a walking route that you can go on every single morning? Whatever it may be, but what habits and skills do you need to become this next level identity, okay? It's really important to think of it from this perspective because it's really easy to be like, okay, I need to like wake up early and like I need to go to the gym in the morning. I need to do this. I need to get this certificate. It's like, whoa, we need to pause and figure out what our end goal is and who we want to be. So then we can work backwards and really start to figure out what habits, skills, routines do I actually need to become this version of me? Okay, maybe you don't need to wake up earlier. Maybe there was a course that you wanted to invest in, but you actually are like, wait, this is not in alignment with what I really want right now. Okay, so working backwards in that way of thinking about who you need to become and then the skills and habits that you want is so important. So step number 6 is all about removing blocks, okay? So you're gonna go live your day-to-day life after this. You're gonna start implementing your habits, your routines. After you've done your identity work, you're going to come up across things that trigger you, or maybe moments where, maybe you're like, oh, I should go to the gym, or I should not go to the gym, or I should wake up early, or I should snooze my alarm, or you feel like you're not good enough to become a coach, or whatever it may be. All of these things, these feelings, these emotions, these triggers, I want you to pay really close attention to them because that's almost the universe being like, hey, this is something we need to work on before we can move to that next level. And even just awareness of these blocks is going to give you so much freedom. When it comes to triggers, emotions, blocks, whatever you want to call them, limiting beliefs, again, the first step is to notice them. What are these beliefs? Something for me, just being really vulnerable right now. I have something I've been working on for almost a year now, and it's going to be launching in a couple months. Usually, like I said with things, I'm like 120% go, 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 go. But this one, I've been so much more slow and methodical about it in general. And there's part of me that's like, yes, I'm thinking about it and I want to really make it the best I possibly can. But also I think there's another part of me that's scared that it's not going to work out. And so maybe there's a little bit of the avoidance of really like just launching it and going for it. And so that's something that I've really noticed recently is like, okay, I see that I am maybe avoiding some of the work that comes with actually launching it. So what does that mean? Like, what are these feelings and emotions and avoidant patterns telling me? It's actually telling me that I'm a little bit afraid that it might not work out, or all of this work that I put into it is going to be for nothing, or, maybe it's going to be another failed business, whatever it may be. Like, those are blocks and patterns and things to notice and become aware of them and not let them hold you back. Okay. And obviously, like, this is something I'm still working through. I'm not like, okay, here's how you heal that. Yes, there are tools, right? Like, even just journaling about it and becoming aware of it is the most powerful first step. You also can, use a mind rewire session. So this is my subconscious reprogramming method. If you want a free recording of a mind rewire session so you can clear your limiting belief within 15 minutes, all you have to do is leave a written review on Apple Podcasts, screenshot and email it to me, or rate the show on Spotify. Just screenshot that you've rated it and email me ashleyroberts@gmail.com, and I will go ahead and send you that free recording. It's literally 12 minutes and you'll remove block. It's mind and body, so you can physically let go of it on a deeper level. Even for me, I have that tool, but I have, again, been a bit avoidant of it because there's part of me that feels safer holding on to this belief, right? So even for me, like, again, we're being very open and vulnerable in this. Like, I know things that are blocks for me and that I should rewire and that I should let go of. Sometimes I can be an avoidant queen and I'm like, maybe later, right? Like, we all have things that we're working on and moving through. So again, that's step number 6 is to notice and remove those blocks. Step number 7 is to get to know your human design and astrology. You guys, on the retreat, obviously I mentioned this, but Emma, she's been on the podcast. Caroline, she's also been on the podcast. They were helping us so much with like human design, what your human design actually means, your astrology, like what different things mean. Get to know your human design and your astrology. It will change how you know yourself, how you move through the world, how you make decisions, okay? It's going to tell you so much information. You can go ahead and go to AstroSeek, I believe it's what it's called. You can get your free astrology chart, and then you can go to My Human Design, or you can even just Google human design, and I believe it's My Human Design, and you can just put in your birth date and everything like that. Then screenshot that stuff, put it in a ChatGPT, and be like, how can I use this to understand myself more? How can I use this to make decisions? How can I use this to make my life easier, hack my life? You guys know I'm a huge believer in, finding ways to hack your own life, and human design, astrology, even there's something called gene keys. This is a new one. I'm not even going to try to explain what it is, but it's a similar vibe of kind of just tells you based on like where you were born, when you were born, it just tells you a little bit about how you work and what you're here to do. It's very, very powerful. So I talked about this even to something like your Venus is how you're supposed to dress, okay, on your chart, or you can use CoStar. I also have that app. You can use CoStar and it'll tell you, like, if you go to all of your chart, you can see what is your Venus. Okay, mine is Scorpio. That means that's how I'm supposed to dress. Okay, there's like your North Node, which is like the direction your life is supposed to go. So human design kind of tells you like how you make decisions, what your biggest gifts are, how you interact with the world. Like, for example, I have an open crown, which means I'm very sensitive to other people's thoughts and emotions, and I can get them really freaking confused with my own. So I really have to trust my body, again, like using the sway test to be like, is this actually my own thought or not? And then with astrology, okay, so your sun is your core identity, like who you are at your essence, your ego, vitality, life force, and what you're here to become confident in expressing. And then your moon is your emotional world. So how you feel, process emotions, self-soothe, and what makes you feel safe and nurtured. Do you see how all of this is going to help you better understand yourself, help you better see how you move through the world so you can, again, become your most authentic self. Your most authentic self is your most aligned self. The easier it is to reach goals, rebrand yourself into who you're meant to be. Rebranding yourself is not who you think you should be. Rebranding is about who you are truly meant to be at an authentic level and becoming closer and closer to that version of you. Your rising, for example, is your outer personality and first impression, how you come across, your style, and how you approach new situations. Okay, so your Venus is your taste, style, and what you're drawn to. Your aesthetic preferences, what you find beautiful or attractive, your personal style. Okay, for example, your Mars is how you move, assert, and take up space. Okay, so again, all of this is just helpful information so you can get to know yourself at a deep level and in turn, make sure you're moving towards that authentic self in your rebrand, okay? Okay, and step number 8 is the last step, which is aligned action. Follow those intuitive pings. In order to have intuitive pings, you need to spend time alone. You need to go on walks without any podcast episodes or music in your ears. You need to sit still in meditation. You need to journal out your emotions. You need to not avoid your emotions, okay? You have to be able to be alone with yourself. Even when you take a shower, so many people say they get so many amazing ideas, and that's because you don't have any other stimulation, okay? We live in a world where there's so much stimulation all the time, and that is literally blocking you from your intuition. Random side tangent. I think it's so easy to get so caught up in the Instagram and the social media and the scrolling and the even podcasts, right? It's so easy to get confused, especially if you have an open crown like I do, where it's like, ooh, I want this, no, I want this, and you can confuse yourself. But the more time you actually listen to your own thoughts, allow yourself to have space to have these intuitive pings come to you, the more you're actually going to feel more connected to yourself. You're going to feel more aligned with your goals and in turn reach your goals faster, okay? Not only that, but you're just going to feel happier because you're more connected with what you really want. Look, even pole dancing. Pole dancing is one of those things where it was meant to come into my life. All of these random intuitive pings started to fall into place until bam, the universe put me at Toyota with Haley. And at that point I was like, okay, I can't ignore that are meant to go take a pole dancing class, okay? Follow the pings, okay? And listen to your body so you can figure out what's actually authentic to you, okay? That is how you're going to rebrand. It's not about the vision board or the Notion dashboard. This is all about actually taking the aligned action and figuring out who you really are and who you want to become, and then following those intuitive pings, okay? So step number 1, allow yourself to change and decide that you're going to. Number 2, start dreaming, journaling, meditating, spending time alone. Step 3, define your new identity. Step 4, authentic clarity check. Make sure that this is what you truly want and it's not for anybody else. Step number 5 is what habits and skills do you need to become this next level self? Step number 6 is to remove any blocks. Just notice what triggers you, what patterns are you seeing, and then rewire them. And just, again, even bringing awareness to them and convincing your subconscious mind, hey, it's okay, it's safe to change, is all you need to do. Step number 7 is to get to know your human design and astrology and ask chat how you can use this to hack your life, okay? And maybe even how can I use this to level up my identity? And then number 8 is aligned action, following those intuitive pings. Okay, my loves, that wraps up this episode. Oh my gosh, I literally feel like a new human after that. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. This is my favorite thing in the world. Don't forget to rate and review the show if you have not already. It really helps this amazing community continue to grow. Okay, my loves, I will see you in the next episode. Love you so much.